Surprise, wife wants a divorce at 5 a.m. I'm a 30-year-old man who has worked since the age of 16, is a college graduate, and is married to a 27-year-old lady. Our relationship began when I was 21 and culminated in a marriage that has been nearly 4 years in the making. By this age, we had 3 houses, a blacktop truck, 30 acres, an ATV, 2 garages, a barn, 50 goats, and 2 new Toyotas, all purchased with our combined cash. We've both worked ourselves to the bone in terms of time and effort. I was irritated that we weren't doing anything when COVID struck, but my wife couldn't comprehend that we were not able to carry out our typical activities due to government regulations, Kai. I had a significant health issue that lasted for a year and was ultimately determined to be nothing serious, but it might have been cancerous. As a result, I was depressed and had to take antidepressants, which caused me to become exceedingly sluggish. Despite the fact that I had gained 60 pounds, I made certain that everything was completed. After a year of depression and finally being able to have an exam, I was able to come off of my medications and begin to return to my previous self. However, we were hit with a major ice storm, which left her stranded at work and me stranded at home, and we were unable to return to our previous selves. We live in the country and own the top of a mountain. Upon her return, things were different. She was fatigued from working 80-hour weeks, which had continued even after she returned home, and I had taken up all of the household responsibilities for her. I advised her to go home and relax, and I would take care of the rest. A month later, in March, she brought up the subject of divorce, to which I said, "Hey, let's work on it," to which she agreed and we proceeded on. Then, 2 days ago, she went to a friend's house, 45F recently fired, and stayed out late on a work night. It was approaching 1 a.m., and she is generally home by 10 p.m. on any given workday for rest and relaxation. I became concerned because she was driving along a one-lane road that was quite twisty and densely forested with wildlife. I believed she had crashed, so I went down the route she was on, but there was no sign of a catastrophe. I got home and dialed her number, but there was no response. She ignores me until I phoned her parents and explained that I was concerned about her whereabouts and didn't know if I should call the police 5 a.m. Her mother was able to get in touch with her, and she sent me a text message informing me that she was on her way home. When she finally arrived, I was understandably enraged and saddened that she hadn't kept in touch. She goes on to accuse me of being envious, manipulative, controlling, and preoccupied with money, among other things. On the financial front, I work as a micromanager with an 800 credit score, and I make certain that we can afford the things we both desire. Within a few minutes, she declares that she wants a divorce, and even after an hour of discussion, she refused to budge. The next day, I advised her to go out with her friends, but she came home and insisted on getting a divorce. When she returned home today, she told me that we should file the paperwork tomorrow. I informed her that I respected her decision and that I would not compel her to continue working. She has determined that all she wants is $2,500, a dog, a vehicle, a kayak, chickens, clothing, and a few decorations for the house. She does not want anything else. She was upset because I brought it up with my father, who is the one person I can confide in who will not spread the rumor and will offer me sound counsel. And he said, "Well, even if I'm unable to return, I'm unable to do so now since you informed him." I ugly sobbed, and she walked away with 4 bags of clothes and other miscellaneous goods for her parents. I'm not sure what else I can say from here. I'm not sure what advice I could provide, but I'm simply afraid right now. I suffer from seasonal depression, and I'm terrified of being alone in the winter. We get major snow dumps, and even with my 4x4 Tundra, roads can become impassable for weeks. I don't want to be alone, but I also don't want her to be in any kind of distress. Thank you for listening, and please do not hesitate to ask any questions. I would welcome the opportunity to speak with you. I am completely honest. Edit. I'm hoping that everyone can see this now. Thank you so much for restoring my faith in humanity. Everything seemed to have gone wrong, and I had nothing to look forward to. However, there is some good to be found. If she is cheating, it will be discovered later on, and the issue will be moot at that time. I'll follow her instructions and hire an attorney as soon as possible to complete the asset partition. Next, go through the waiting procedure. Even if she decides to wants to return home, I don't think I'll be able to take her back within the 60-day waiting period at this time. I am much stronger as a result of your efforts. Update. We are meeting a lawyer today at 4 p.m. EST, going to joint file and agree on everything. She does not want any trouble and does not want to be in court at all. Update 2. I hope I did everything well when I provided the link. On day 2, we hired an attorney to represent us both in the divorce proceeding. It is a joint divorce proceeding, and he represents both of us. We sat together and decided on what each of us wanted to accomplish. Our lawyer expressed amazement and stated that we were one in a million who were obtaining a divorce. Asserting that we were educated and simply wanted to go on with our lives wasn't getting us anywhere. As soon as he said that, something snapped in my brain. I realized that I wasn't happy either, despite the minor falsehoods she had spoken and her reluctance to do something about it. At the end of the day, we were both pleased with the assets, and she even offered to take over the debt on the UTV if I would agree to let her retain the UTV. I was unable to accept. At this point, we had to wait in the lobby for 30 minutes together, and she sat on the chair next to me, one chair away. She inquired as to how I was doing and such things. I could tell she was feeling a pang of remorse at this time. Stupidly inquired as to whether she was 100% certain she wanted the divorce, and she said that she had never been 100% certain, and she was much less certain now. The papers were then signed and notarized. They will be filed tomorrow, and the divorce will be finalized on May 30th. After all of that, I'm going to maintain a strong level of resolve. However, I have a strange sense that she will want to back out of the divorce and attempt to get back together. There's no way I'll ever know if there's another person, or if there was another guy in the room. Unless I had some means of knowing for certain that this was the case, I would have no hesitation about filing for divorce without any more contemplation. However, if I could be certain without a reasonable doubt that she had never had a partner, I would be divided about whether or not to continue the marriage. However, in the end, I feel that it would just serve to postpone the inevitable. Just today, I was able to eat something. I hadn't eaten anything since Sunday, and I was terribly hungry. I'm starting to feel better. My outlook on life has significantly improved. Once again, thank you very much to everyone. Edit. I'm using this opportunity to be alone and unattached. I've done a lot of soul searching in a short period of time. I want to continue in this manner and will keep everyone informed of any new discoveries or incidents. For the next week or two, I expect the weather will be fairly calm. Occasionally, she will be required to fetch tub for her sister's home shower, which will occur on a few occasions. I'm going to keep my mouth shut around her in order to keep things calm. Update 3. I'm now dealing with a great deal of difficulty in my personal life. Because of my inability to eat, my body has entered a state of ketosis. Since last week, I've shed a total of 15 pounds. Why does my mood shift so frequently is a mystery to me. What follows is a transition from I want her back to, but what if she's dating someone else? That'll be followed by fury, as in how could she do this to me? Then it will be, it's all right, I've got this, and I'll make it. I suffer from anxiety and panic disorder, but I appear to be managing well with the physical symptoms since I understand the underlying reason. Additionally, I take anti-anxiety drugs that are rapid acting. So many contradictory signals have been sent to me. Our friendships are intertwined, and she has expressed to them her desire to make it work, but her fear of doing it. So, she occasionally calls me and tells me she loves me, but as soon as she returns to her apartment it's just like, hey, take me off of your credit cards as an authorized user so I can fix my credit. So much energy is being used in switching back and forth. The second difficulty is that, even though I got to retain everything, I'm starting to understand that I probably won't be able to handle paying for everything. And I don't want to keep our house, which will cost us $800 a month for the next 19 years, and is something we agreed would be our home. I am unable to sell it since I own the land, and it is not related to the mortgage on the house. That is the only thing keeping me out of a difficult spot at this point in time. I'm just having trouble. This continual upheaval is quite difficult, and it has only been a little more than a week. I do want my wife back in my life. Her sister's bridal shower is this weekend, and I had planned on getting up in a nice outfit, bringing a present for her sister, and then departing immediately afterwards. I believe it should make a powerful statement that should break the hearts of everyone who hears it. Her parents have faith in me and do not place their confidence in her. Her father is threatening to physically beat her and divorce his wife of 30 years as a result of all of this. He's been following her to work, trying to figure out what she's up to in her spare time. It's simply turning into a shambles.